Welcome to Diamond.Standard.Gaming, and today we're here at my homestead again, and you can see here we have a beautiful sunrise, and off to the left there you can see the regular Minecraft village that's out there. But our goal in today's video is to take this regular farm that we have here, I think it's 8 by about 15 long or so, and we're going to turn it into a farm that is auto-harvested using some sticky pistons, some cobblestone, some water, and a couple of other items. So this just makes it a lot faster for harvesting. I mean, the entire thing will probably be harvested in about 1 to 2 seconds instead of, I don't know, maybe a minute or so by the time you run up and down each of those rows. So here we are. You can see right here I pretty much erased my entire farm, and we're going to start over here with our auto harvesting farm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down here. So what you really need is you need a space that's at least 8 wide, maybe 10, probably 10 wide, and then you probably want it to be 30, 40 long, something like that, depending on how big you're building it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a ditch that is 2 deep. So there is 2 deep by 8 long. So that was the first one, and then here is the second block down. And this ditch is going to end up having the hoppers that I need that are going to collect my food. Then what I do is from that ditch, I'm going to go ahead and dig another ditch, only 1 deep this time, going up 7 blocks. Then I turn back again, and I'm going to cut 7 more blocks in that direction, and then I go ahead and I connect back to that original ditch that I dug. Okay, then what I do is I go here and I just clear out the center of that area that I just outlined. Okay, and we got that all done. And I just double check here to make sure that it is the right width. And then what I'm going to do is the same thing here. I'm going to go up 7 more blocks. This time I'm not going to dig down. I'm just going to count 7 more blocks up. And then right here, 7 blocks, and then I go 1 more to the 8th block. And that is going to be where I'm going to go ahead and place a row of sticky pistons. So I'm going to go ahead, because this farm is 8 wide, I'm going to go ahead and place 8 sticky pistons in a row. Okay. That right there is probably one of the most important steps of this farm, because that's what's going to keep the water from flowing all the time in this farm. Then I jump up on top of the sticky pistons, and I'm going to go ahead and put a line of 8 cobblestone blocks. And then directly on the back side, the opposite side of my farm, I'm going to go ahead and place another row right on the back of those cobblestone blocks that I just placed. And then you'll see here in a second, I place yet another row of cobblestone blocks. So when I'm done, I have like a little platform that's 3 blocks wide by 8 blocks long. So that right there is just a step for me to get up onto the platform if I need it. I think you probably will need to put a step in there. Here's where I go ahead and I put the next row of blocks right behind, and it is becoming nighttime here in my village, so hopefully I'm not attacked by any creepers or anything, but I think I did pretty much monster-proof it at this time. Alright, and then on each end what I do is I go ahead and I add a couple more blocks. So now it is 10 blocks wide. And then what I do is I just build kind of like a U shape here, you'll see. Just like that. And right here, just like that. That's a step again, just in case I need to get up here, which I think I will need it at some point in time. But you can see I have a little U there, and then the line that I'm in right now here, this is going to be filled with water shortly, and then when we turn the pistons on, that line of cobblestone directly to the left of me will be risen up 1, and then this will be like a little line of water that will hold the water in place. Then I go to the opposite side of the farm, and underneath, behind each of the pistons, I'm going to go ahead and put a line of redstone dust, and that's going to power each of them, so that when we, and then I place a lever at the one end, and that way when we hit the lever, it will turn them on and off. So you can see right there, they are on, and you can see that row of cobblestone blocks has risen up. And if I climb up my little stairs here that I built, you can see I now have this little like ditch here where I'm going to go ahead and fill it with water. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put water in here, you know, until it's all infinity water. So I need 8 buckets of water there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here, this is directly to the left of that last piston. Now this is the front side of the farm, and I'm going to dig a ditch, you know, 1 deep, until I get down to my lower part of the farm, and I'm going to go ahead and dig a ditch 1 deeper here. So this ditch here to the right hand side up to the regular ground level is 2 deep, but to my farm level to the left, you can see it's only a single block deep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put water in here, and then this is going to be what keeps our farm watered. Without this, the farmland would dry out, and you wouldn't have much of a farm. And you can see, because I did cut that block down 1, you can see that the 1 bucket of water does flow all the way to the end of the farm. And I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm on the right hand side now. And I'm going to go ahead and dig out my ditch right there. Same exact as I did on the other side. So once I get down to the lower part of the farm, the ditch is 2 deep to the regular ground level, and a single block deep to my farmland level, just like that. And I will go back and I will fill that that ditch with water. Okay. Then what I do is I go ahead and I just cover the water on both sides with a row of cobblestone. And you can use whatever kind of solid block you want for this. You can use dirt or anything else. It all works. Now the only thing here, there is something I will have to change slightly with this, and I'll show you that in a second. So when I put a block here and then I move here to cover it all up, you see how there's an opening there? I can't place a block there because, as you'll see here in a second, if I place a block there, it actually stops the water from flowing completely. So I have to actually dig the water out one more, or not the water, the blocks one further to the left of the direction I'm facing now. So and then that will keep the water flowing. And you'll see what happens. I try it without breaking out that extra block, just to kind of show you what happens here. So here I'm doing the exact same thing on the opposite side here. Placing those blocks down, and then going on over here, just to cover up the water. Okay, then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to try to turn it on really quick. So I guess I turn off the pistons or turn on the water, but then you can see here, the water just like magically ends right here. So it doesn't go all the way down, and that's because I have those holes in the sides of the farm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the water off, and then I come here, and then you'll see. So I break one more block on that side, and I can then fill it with the cobblestone block, and I just break this really quick to double check that the water is still flowing. Don't put it down there because that will block the water again. But you could put the block right there. And then I come on this side, I do the exact same thing. Just like that. And just to double check and to collect some blocks I dropped in here, I break that block and just check and see that the water's flowing all the way down there. So now we know that the farm will be fully watered. And then here I was just checking real quick that there were no creepers. Sometimes creepers appear inside of my fences and stuff. So I just wanted to do a quick check here and make sure there's no creepers around, so they don't blow up my new farm. I try to creeper proof it, and I think I'm getting pretty close, but sometimes they still get in. So you can see here now the water flows all the way down to the end of the farm. Alright, so I turn it off. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my hoppers and my chests, and I'm going to build the collection system here at the end of my farm. So this time I wasn't sure, and I think you'll see here at first I was going to go ahead and put the chest at one end of the farm, but then I just thought it was nicer to put it at right in the center at the bottom of the farm. It just looks better, and it kind of makes it a little bit easier to access. So what I do here is I go ahead and connect all my hoppers to the chest here. So that way as stuff falls into here, it will all be collected and sent to the chest. Now that hopper there didn't go in the right place, so I break it here in a second and I will move it to where it needs to go. And of course when you break things on top of the hoppers, they get sucked in immediately, so you had to go run down to the chest and collect your item. Okay, then right here, you see, I probably could have pointed a little bit further down, but I couldn't get it in the right place there. So you see here in a second I'll break out the wall down on the opposite side of this chest and make a little step to step on right here, and then I'll finally get that last hopper in the right place. Alright, there we are. Now all the hoppers are going in the right direction. I just throw some string in here to make sure that I got everything in the right direction. So when I come down here, I see that it does end up in the chest. And that's a good sign that my collection system will work. And again, just testing it out here, seeing that the water goes all the way down to the hoppers at the end there. Then I just jump in here into my water real quick, and I throw a couple pieces of string in just to see that they do get collected by the hoppers at the end. So you see that worked, but it's interesting because turns out that it didn't fully work for the vegetables, and the vegetables pretty much got stuck right along the line of the hoppers. So what I will need to do is I will need to actually dig the hoppers down one block deeper and then replace them. So I'll basically break all the hoppers, dig down one more block, and then put the hoppers down there, and then I'll have to also move the chest down one more as well. So here's my original chest that I put in there. So I go ahead and break that because I don't want it there anymore. And I go ahead and break pretty much just half of the hoppers is all I need to break right here. And then I was hoping that I can kind of go ahead and put a chest right here, but you don't want to do that either, because what happened is the items that hit the chest basically flow over and land in front of the chest and don't actually get sucked into the chest. So you need the hoppers to actually suck your items into the chest. And I just fill that little area in there. That was the area that I had for the chest, the original, chest that I put in. And again, just throwing the string down, and I'm just going to give this a quick test and see how it works now. So I have through those, so those 2 pieces of string kind of simulate my vegetables that will be sitting there in the farm. I turn the water on. You can see it is kind of laggy. I don't know why it's so laggy like that. You can see it's taking a while for the water to come down. But you can see that string piece flows right over the chest, drops right in front of the chest. The other one did get sucked into the hopper and did end up inside of the chest. And it's interesting how the strings seem to flow over that boundary, the hopper garden boundary, but some of the vegetables did not flow over it. So what I do here is I'm going to go ahead and cut in my last 2 hoppers and just put a single chest or a single double chest right here. And then I will go ahead and put the last hopper here going right into my chest so that everything collected by the hoppers will be redirected to that chest. And I just dig a little bit bigger area out here around the chest just to make it a little bit easier to get into. Now this garden is about 14, I guess it's 14 by 8, so it does really collect a lot of, or does grow a lot of vegetables for this size. Playing, mostly, single player, this garden is big enough, as I'll plant everything and then I'll go out on an adventure and I come back and everything's fully growing, and it's more than enough, yeah. So what I do there is I turn all of it into farmland using the hoe, and then I plant everything. And now the last thing to really do is just kind of wait for a little bit until all those vegetables grow up. Now what you could do in this one too, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but you could kind of keep extending this out further in blocks of 7. Probably, I don't know, probably 28 or, maybe 35 or more out if you want, or you can also make it wider. Now the thing is, if you make it wider, you just got to remember you got to basically dig the ditches that we did on either side, and you'll have to always dig those down every 8 blocks. If you don't, then your farm farther out on the ends will end up drying out and it won't work for you. But if you make it yeah, I guess the same thing. If you make it longer, you'd have to also dig those ditches down longer. So, again, if you're playing with maybe 2 or 3 people, you might need a bigger farm. But I know for me, when I go out on an adventure, I'm exploring a cave or something I found. A lot of times what will happen is I might be out exploring for 10 days or something like that. And by the time I get back, everything's fully growing. So, no need for a bigger farm. Alright, then I kind of ran around, did some stuff for a little bit, and here I am testing out now that the stuff grew up a little bit. Now it's not fully grown, but you can see here how it is harvesting everything. And there, harvested in a couple of seconds. And like I said, here everything's getting stuck right along that hopper line. So I'm not sure what's causing that and why it's doing that, because the string worked fine. But the vegetables, for whatever reason, are not getting sucked in. So, still makes it pretty nice, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, like I said, dig the hoppers down one deeper and putting them in, and then see if that fixes anything. Now you got to remember, even though this harvests everything automatically, you still have to replant everything manually, but it's fine. That really doesn't take more than probably a minute. So I go here and I do collect a bunch of these items here, just to kind of give you an idea. Now remember, this farm wasn't fully growing, and you can see already I got 64 potatoes in there. I got 30 seeds, 30 wheat seeds, 9 bushels of wheat, and looks like I got about 58 carrots, and I think I had 32 wheat seeds. So really pretty good for an, what is it, 8 by 14 farm. And again, really enough for what you need for a single player. So yeah, that's our build for today. So please let me know what you think, and until next time, have a great day.